Hey y'all, it's July the 29th, 2018, and y'all, I wanted to make just a real quick video before I pass out. I wanted to make a quick video about what we were talking about earlier, Parkland, the Nick Cruz thing, the investigations. I want to talk about it, and of course, the article that we were going over earlier, that Rafael Almeida from the Sun Sentinel over there in Florida. He's been really covering. He's been like a pit bull on this situation. He keeps writing articles almost every day, maybe every other day. All right. He wrote an article maybe like 3 days ago, published it, and it was about the confession. Yeah, that's right, Nick Cruz confession, where he confessed to doing all the shootings, shooting up people at the school. All right. So it's going to be a matter of days. Of course, there's an appeals process that Nick Cruz himself could elect to implement, but he probably will. All right, as if he has a choice, but he really doesn't have a choice. All right, so they're probably going to try to appeal it. The thing is, I don't think it's going to get appealed. All right, the thing is, there's going to be a portion of it that does come out. We already know, or you might already know, that of course it's got to be a portion. I mean, it was a 13-hour confession. All right. So, as you can imagine, we're going to be real brief about it. As you can imagine, it's probably a coerced confession, obviously. Right? 13 hours? Who talks for 13 hours? No. So that was coerced. And not only that, you got a person who's on record, but a lot of people testify that Nick Cruz is interesting. He's an interesting person in many ways, but also in that he was kind of what people describe as complicit. He would do stuff, man. He was known for doing stuff kind of like on a whim. He would get all gassed up by people and just do stuff, and it's kind of dumb. All right? People, the word for that is complicit. All right? So he's kind of a complicit type of. He's got that kind of a nature about him, and y'all know people kind of like that, who kind of they'll do, if you convince them, they'll do what you want them to do, like stuff like this. All right, so 13 hours goes by. They coerce like a confession out of him. Here's the thing: they're gonna give you bits and pieces, right? Like they've been doing. They're gonna give you bits and pieces, look all sort of incriminating. Meanwhile, they already told you. Rafael Almeida already told you. He said, listen, you're not going to get what's called substance from the confession. It's going to be like parts of the confession, but it's not going to have what, in legal terms, they call a substance, which means, I guess, the more descriptive, the actual details of him shooting up the school. You're not going to get that. That's going to be under lock and key, kept secret. All right, at least until trial, and that trial ain't gonna happen until after November. Guess what? All right, so we're gonna keep that a secret. All right, so that's what they're doing. Right? They don't want the part of the confession in which Nick Cruz actually tells you about him shooting up people. All right, and the thing is, we already know he can be coerced, probably. So there probably is. If I had to put money down, what I'm saying, I wouldn't, because I'm not a gambler. But if I did, it would be that he does describe shooting people, himself shooting people. It's probably part of the drill. He's probably real confused. And the thing is, people might say, oh, that's an excuse. That's him confessing and stuff. And you're just saying, oh, that he doesn't even know, even though he's confessing. I understand that people would think that. All right, but here's the thing. The interesting thing about the substance, if you call it that, the descriptive part, is that Nick Cruz, what he's going to describe to you, irregardless, it's not going to have nothing to do with the official narrative. Just like 90% of the leaked statements that I've already seen and that we've gone over, has nothing to do with the official narrative. Don't look anything like it. All right, so Nick Cruz's confession, although he is going to confess to shooting people, it's not going to look anything like what it's supposed to look like. And that's why I want to keep it a secret. All right, they're really trying to keep it a secret. All right, the problem is, here's the problem. Yeah, and they ain't gonna keep it a secret. It's gonna get leaked, just like all the rest got leaked. In fact, it's probably already leaked somewhere. It's probably in the process of being leaked right now. All right, we're gonna get the whole confession. We're gonna see the whole dang thing, and it doesn't matter how slow they want to trickle it out. We're gonna already have it. All right, and it is probably gonna say stuff, and it's gonna kind of get people like, oh man, he's talking about. But you gotta understand, there's details to this. He's gonna describe something, and it's not gonna have nothing to do with the official narrative of how it went down. Which the official narrative of how it went down is not only number one, impossible, but also two, extremely incompetent to just exceptional levels by everybody. So that's what's gonna come out, regardless. That's what we're gonna. And the thing is, you might call me a psychic later, like 2 weeks from now. You might be like, "Oh man, that is kind of what happened and stuff." It does not really take a genius. I mean, they're kind of telegraphing it. They're telegraphing everything they're doing, and we're onto it. All right. I want to acknowledge before we get out of here. You know, a lot of people, they watch this channel for various reasons. I don't usually know why, but the thing is, not all the people here seeing this video might be into the investigation so much. You know, they might be like into talking about other stuff, more philosophical stuff. I know a lot of philosophical people, man. I appreciate all of them out there. You know. And as far as the philosophical level, I'll leave out on this. You know, that's what we're looking forward to on the nitty-gritty level. But philosophically, let's think about it. And we have been thinking about it. If we go back to, just to be real brief, February 13th, 2018, every last testimonial and bit of evidence is going to point to a kid about 19 years old needing some support, receiving none. Here's the thing, he got support, but at the same time, what I want you to recognize, and what a lot of people already recognize, is that none of the support that Nick Cruz ever got came from the government in any kind of facet, right? Not a government social worker, a child care provider. That didn't happen. The school district's a very affluent, like one of the safest or whatever, and they're like the best ever over there in Broward County and stuff, man. They couldn't do nothing for Nick Cruz. Not nothing. I'm talking about a whole host of, I mean, you couldn't almost get a more like movie-esque type situation where this guy, he grows up adopted, his parents die one by one, and nobody in like a government position, like a public school teacher, like nobody was able to substantially reach out to Nick Cruz and help him at all. Ever. As of February, I mean, if you're taking the whole, we're on February 13th. This is before anybody gets shot. Nobody ever. Thing is, you'll notice through all the statements that there's a lot of people who did reach out to Nick Cruz, and there was people who was very friendly with him and known him for many years. All right, but they don't want you to talk to those people so much, because then you'll realize that this is all a big sham, and it is. Thing is, just put that out of your mind. Nick Cruz ain't the only one. In fact, he's not the minority. Right? He isn't. There's a lot of kids go through high school and guess what? Hate it. There's a lot of kids go through high school and realize later, damn, they hated it. Sucked. Total waste of their time. Right? In which people are not only like pushing them around and bullying them through thoughts. They couldn't have certain thoughts, certain unpopular thoughts. It's not cool to be unpopular up in school, right? So that's that whole situation. All those anti-bullying campaigns. I'm sure they had anti-bullying posters on the wall and stuff, fundraisers and this and that. It didn't work out. It did not work out. It's not going to work out ever. It's not supposed to. The whole system, unfortunately, in general, is designed to not work out for most people. It's kind of psychopathic in a way. It nurtures psychopaths. I've heard a lot of people say that, and it makes sense. All right, it's a way of, it's almost like throwing kids into the Hunger Games so they don't die, at least not very quickly. Right? At least not most of them. So, we're talking about an affluent School district totally dropped the ball. Sheriff's office dropped the ball, even though they have. It's absurd. All right, it's absurd how hard they dropped the ball. The FBI for some reason was there and stuff. SWAT team was kicking down the doors and they didn't know what the hell to do. You know, it's amazing. It's like, and somehow everybody else is bad because they got guns or whatever, and it doesn't make any sense. And meanwhile, this has nothing to do with justice, and it's like, dude, it has nothing to do with the Constitution either. Or anything. Like, dude, it's like, this is not a speedy trial. This is just publicly, like, crucifying a person for months and months on end with no evidence. That's what it is. And meanwhile, nobody takes, like, you don't hardly see anybody taking responsibility for it. Saying, hey, guess what? I totally messed up. I did not know what I was doing, obviously. Because obviously nobody knew what they were doing. Nobody did. So it's like, dude, it's obvious that nobody here knew what we were doing. So you figure they would be like, dude, we're firing ourselves. We're so fired. We can't even believe that somebody hired us for this. Because we're terrible at it. Not only did we totally drop the ball in this situation, but in fact we pretend to have this situation all the time. You know, we go through the motions of this all the time. Meanwhile, when it happens, not the slightest clue of what to do, right? You understand? There's a lot of kids across campus jumping in the closets and texting everybody they knew as soon as they heard gunshots in the distance. Like, people did not know what the hell to do. People running, jumping over the fence to go to Walmart and stuff. People running all willy-nilly. And the SWAT team can't find the shooter and stuff. They're so confused. They don't know how to work the video machine. It's like, dude, it's amazing. It's amazing. All right, but on a more general level, not on like a big dramatic level like this. Millions, probably, of kids out there, just like, in a sense, just like this. They're getting run around from their high schools. Their high schools ain't really teaching them nothing but liberal garbage. In fact, a lot of them are saying, hey, dude, this is all liberal garbage. Dude, it's not getting me nowhere. It's like, of course it isn't. It's not. It's nothing. None of that's gonna make you money or anything like that. All right, it's just to prepare you for college, and then you go to college and spend all this sort of money. It's like, dude, none of this makes sense. All right, and I think that's kind of the biggest thing to drive home. Not only that, but the system in and of itself doesn't make any sense. They keep constantly training to get shot up. It's like, dude, we're not kicking it at the house training to get shot up. When I go to work, I don't get trained to get shot up, dude. To be honest with you, we don't have getting shot up drills. We really don't. So y'all intend to get shot up, right? To the point is you train to get shot up. Y'all train the little kids to get shot up. Thereby traumatizing all sort of just untold numbers of kids, even if they never get shot up for real. They're still traumatized. You're doing this to kindergartners and stuff like this. You're wreaking havoc, right? And then you drop the ball so hard that I can't even believe it. All right? And then you don't even take no responsibility, and then you turn around, say everybody's bad, trying to protect themselves. Meanwhile, if you have a shooter, as you well know, either you have a gun or you go hide in the closet and text everybody you know. You do one of the two. So that would mean you would want guns. But y'all don't have no idea what you're talking about. And the thing is, it shouldn't have nothing to do with everybody's guns, but it does. And that's what's kind of creepy. There's big underlying messages here. And it's creepy, all right? So it's July 29th, 2018. I'm gonna go crash out. I appreciate y'all. I'll holler at y'all.